Has your child developed sequential auditory memory? If not, do you know how to help your child? No worries. I'll talk about it in details with practical examples which you can use at home. I will also talk about how to make the child understand and use past tense and future tense by changing the verb in a sentence. Of course, you will get many tips at the end of the video which will be very helpful in home training. So let's start with objectives for this week. Hi. The theme for this week is sequence, auditory sequence. So starting with the auditory goals, we are working on conversation. Your child should be able to do conversation with you. When I'm talking about conversation, I'm not talking about question answer session. So please be careful. If you ask a question and the child replies, then you ask another question and the child replies, this is not conversation. We are not talking about question answer session. So in conversation, there are 3-4 points which you have to remember. First is that there should be a topic of conversation, whatever you're talking about, and there should be at least 3-4 turns taken by the child to maintain the topic of the conversation. For example, if you're talking about the birthday party child has attended, then the child should talk only about the birthday party and nothing else, not about school or about the ground play, nothing, only about the birthday party. Second thing, when you are talking about conversation, the question should be from both sides. So you are asking questions, the child's replying, but child should also ask you questions which you should reply. So how do you encourage the children to ask questions? If the child is not asking question, then you create a situation where the child is curious to get information and the child will ask question. For example, suppose you say, come on, put on your shoes, we are going. Now the child will ask, where are we going? Or just put on your shoes. The child will ask, why should I put on shoes? But if you say, put on your shoes, we are going to the garden, there's no scope for asking any question. Another part in conversation is that there should be comments. Not only question answers from both sides, there should be comments, opinion, expression of your feelings, thoughts, anything. For example, if you're having meals and you tell the child, do you want chapati or you want rice? Now the child says, I want rice. Then you put the comment saying, you like rice, I don't like rice. I like chapati, give me 2 chapatis. So you are putting a comment which necessarily should not be answered by the child, just absorb. Also, coming to expressive language goals, the child should understand what happened. What happened has 2 meanings. One is, when you say what happened, the child will give you the incident or an event. It depends on the context. And secondly, when you ask what happened, actually you are asking why question. For example, if you ask the child, if the child is crying and you ask the child, what happened? So actually you are asking, why are you crying? And the child will understand the context. Contextual cue will help him to answer that I lost my toy, so I'm crying. Then coming to the other part where you say the child has to give incident. For example, you say, you were supposed to go to the zoo from the school. What happened? So you're not saying, why didn't you go? You're saying what happened, and the child has to give an answer saying that it was raining, so we did not go, or the teacher was absent, so we could not go, something like that. So it is again a happening. Coming to expressive language goals, we should be able to do more work on tenses. Last week we introduced past tense and future tense, and we said the child should be able to understand the past and future and use some of the verbs into past and future form. This time we are going to introduce calendar. Calendar helps to the children to talk in past and future. For example, you open the calendar and ask the child, when is your birthday? Your birthday is coming this month. When is your birthday? So the child points out to the date, or you help the child. This is your birthday is on 5th May. What will you do? Whom will you invite? What shall we make for serving? What games shall we play? So all these question, answer, helping the child to think, all verbs will be in the future. All the tense will be in the future. For past, for example, you have taken the child to the zoo and then you say, yesterday we went to the zoo. Point out to the calendar again, today is Monday. Point to the Sunday and say we went to the zoo. What did we do? What did we eat? Now all past tense of the verb will come. Ate, saw, went, liked, scared, whatever it was in the past tense. So this will help the child to understand tenses and talk in tenses correctly. Also, as a part of expressive vocabulary, work on conjunctions. The child should be able to use the vocabulary of and, or, if, then, before, after. Understandably, that you will use lot of it when you are talking to the child, so that the child gets lot of auditory bombardment, understands the meaning, and then starts using it. But that is the objective. Coming to the speech goals, this week we are working on J. J as in Jaspal. So J can be used in many words during the day. For example, jug, jingling, jingle bell, joker, vegetable, so many other things, just a minute. So you can use not only nouns but many other vocabulary also can be used, which the child will be listening again and again. This is a very good way of giving auditory bombardment. Pick up the book. This is a book on gingerbread man, right? When you say what happened, when you're talking about the first page, let me open this for you. Here, the gingerbread man jumped out of the tray. So you are using J 3 times. J, jump. And this way when the story goes, then gingerbread ran away and the old woman said, stop gingerbread man, stop gingerbread man. So many times this word will come, gingerbread and jump. When I read the story, I was counting how many times J sound is coming. This had come 42 times in this book. But you don't get bored because it's in different sentences and child will be interested, and by the end of the book the child might even start using J. Talking about books, we continue using the other book. Last week I said that we will continue this for 2-3 weeks for auditory memory. So first we were doing 2-item memory selection, now 4 items, 6 items, 8 items, whatever the child can do is possible. So here what you say on this page, we were saying that the green room has one telephone and a red balloon. So the child points to the telephone and red balloon. And then you say, the green room also has 2 kittens and a pair of mittens. So the child points to 2 kittens and a pair of mittens. And then you close the book and say, what is in the green room? Now the child has to remember and say all 4 items: telephone, red balloon, kittens, and a pair of mittens. If the child says mittens, you add a pair, yes, a pair of mittens. It can also go to the next level when you're talking about clocks. Now, where are the clocks in this? Here. So you say in the green room, there are clocks and socks. Okay. Socks, you're saying S, plural. So the child has to listen and understand you're talking about plural. So the child cannot point out to one clock. The child has to point out clocks and socks. Okay. Now tell me what is in the green room. So the child has to say all the items in one go in the same sequence. This can be turned into a game and can be played. You can include the other members of the family or siblings or friends, and that will help. Coming to tips, work on sequence. You can do through sequence stories, you can do through a craft, you can do through daily routine exercises, or you can do through daily routine work. For example, suppose you are asking the child, you can even do pretend play also. For example, you ask the child, okay, let's make fresh lime juice. What shall I do first? Then next, then next. You make the juice with the child and then you ask, how did we make it? What did we do first? And the child should give you the sequence and past tense. Okay. Now, if you're doing pretend play also, you can do the same. If you're doing a story, you're telling the child a story and you tell the child, retell the story to you, then again you're looking for the sequence and the past tense. It will be good if you tell the child to make something in craft, like make a boat or make some house or make a greeting card, and then tell the child, okay, show it to Papa what you have made. Now, when he goes to the father has not seen him making. The father prompt your spouse to ask, okay, how did you make this? Even any other family member can participate. Ask anybody. So when someone asks, how did you make it? The child will give the sequence and will use the past tense also. So this way the child will be encouraged. You tell a story and tell the child, go and tell this story to your sibling, to your brother. Go and tell this story to anybody who's member of the family staying with you. Go and tell the story to that person. So the child will get a chance for auditory memory, sequencing and using past tense, and you should be there to help and prompt the child. Okay. So let me know if it can all help and how much your child's language has grown by this time and where do you need more help. And if you have not watched some episode and you want to watch, then the link is given below, which will take you to the 40-week session plan. See you next week. Thank you.